In the northeastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv, residents try to salvage whatever they can after Russia shelled their homes. This is what life has been like for the past month. In Kiev, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy welcomed the Baltic parliament speakers, 3 NATO members, all far smaller than Ukraine, that share a border with Russia.
The risks in Ukraine are your risks. Unfortunately, I must only admit this, that we have such a neighbor.
That warning came as NATO, the G7, and the EU all held unprecedented emergency summits in Brussels in a bid to show a united front to Moscow. U.S. President Joe Biden announced the largest aid package of any nation.
Today, I'm announcing the United States is prepared to commit more than $1 billion in humanitarian assistance to help get relief to millions of Ukrainians affected by the war in Ukraine. Many Ukrainian refugees will wish to stay in Europe, closer to their homes. But we've also will welcome 100,000 Ukrainians to the United States with a focus on reuniting families.
Biden also made it clear that there was a line Russia shouldn't cross.
And to clarify on chemical weapons, if chemical weapons were used in Ukraine, would that trigger a military response from NATO?
It would trigger a response in kind. Whether or not you're asking whether NATO would cross, we'd make that decision at the time.
Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan told NATO his country will continue its role as a moderator between the two sides.
We will continue our discussions with both Mr. Putin and Mr. Zelenskyy. All our efforts are to bring the two leaders together and to establish an atmosphere of peace.
And from NATO's chief, whose term has now been extended an extra year in light of the crisis, a message to China, Russia's major ally.
Allied leaders called on China to refrain from supporting Russia's war effort. China must not provide economic or military support for the Russian invasion. Instead, Beijing should use its significant influence on Russia and promote an immediate peaceful resolution.
On Friday, the U.S. will announce how it plans to scale up its natural gas exports to Europe to make up for the supply that comes from Russia. That could pave the way for further sanctions on Moscow's energy sector. After that, Biden heads to Poland to assess humanitarian needs. That country is hosting some 2 million refugees from Ukraine. Yasmine El-Sabawi, TRT World.